1976 from the University of Erlangen in logic, mathematics, and psychology. He worked as an assistant professor in Konstanz University, teaching logic and methodology of sciences to students of different faculties. He worked as a business consultant from 1993 onwards. And since 1980, he has been coordinating research on Homa therapy. In the beginning, mainly in Eastern European countries like Russia, Ukraine, Poland, Yugoslavia, etc. Since a couple of years also, here is cooperation with different universities like Palampur Agricultural University, Kanpur Agricultural University, Tamil Nadu Agricultural University, Ooty, Dharwad University, IIT Kharagpur, Ferguson College, Pune, Vivekananda University, Bangalore, North Maharashtra University, Pantnagar Agricultural University. He's been doing the research on Homa therapy, and also he's been cooperating with all these universities about the Homa therapy. He has given more than 150 talks. He has been invited to give lectures and keynote addresses at universities and in national and international conferences. And his recent publications are bringing Homa organic farming into the mainstream of Indian agricultural system. And his proceedings of the brainstorming conference in cooperation with Planning Commission, Government of India. Then this book, it gives an overview on the research on Homa done so far in the field of agriculture and environment. The energy field of Agnihotra, that's also one of his books. Effects of Agnihotra on microorganisms. That's the proceedings of the annual convention cum conference in Patna. Then he's like this manuals, he's done many manuals, suggested experiments with Agnihotra, global COVID-19 and Agnihotra. That's in the Journal of Global Science Research. Impact of Homa organic farming in mitigating soil, water, and other environmental crises. Agnihotra as an inexpensive method to treat HIV/AIDS. So this is about our Ulrich Berk, and he's given his other details also where to contact him and all. I think Colonel Babu Garu will share it with all of us. Now we welcome you, sir, to take over the session and just address us about Agnihotra today. We welcome you all again. Please take over the session.
Okay, thanks a lot for the nice introduction. Thanks, Colonel Babu, for inviting me to this conference. And now I started the sharing the screen, but I don't see it.
Yeah, we can see Abhijit Sawant.
You can see, but I can't see it. That is strange.
I think you have to click.
Okay. Okay. Now it's there.
Yeah, we can see now.
Okay, good. So, the title of my presentation today is Agnihotra Vedic Yajna Technique in the Light of Modern Science. And this is me, and here you see the contact details also. Especially note the web page and my email address so that you can be in contact further on. Thanks again for invitation. Now, what's the subject and why is it so important? The situation of this planet has deteriorated so much. Our atmosphere, our soil, and our water resources are much contaminated and even the present pandemic is related to this overall pollution. For the mission to remove the pollution of the environment, which we humans have created, is more important than ever. If humankind wants to survive on this planet, we have to do all efforts to overcome this pollution. So what are the possible solutions? Important is to do yajnas, and especially the daily Agnihotra at sunrise and sunset time, to help to purify our environment. Let us look at some results of research done in different colleges, universities, and research institutions over the last decade. But before I go to that, one important note. When I use the term Agnihotra, I refer to a fire performed in a copper pyramid of fixed size and shape, using dried cow dung, dried pure cow dung, pure cow's ghee, some grains of less polished uncooked rice, 2 simple mantras in the morning, 2 in the evening, and following the timings of sunrise, sunset, exact to the second. No Havan Samakri to be used. Now it's very easy to go to get the exact timings for your location. There is an app for the phone called Agnihotra Buddy. You can download for free, and with a few clicks on the phone, you get the sunrise sunset timing exactly for your position, exact to the second. And mind, if you move to some other place, the timings will be different. So it has to be done for every single place. The Agnihotra procedure, the fire should be fully ablaze at the time given in the timetable or the time which you see on the Agnihotra app. And you take a few grains of unbroken rice, akshata, and preferably less polished, in your left hand or in a dish, and apply a few drops of pure cow's ghee to the body of rice. And then you divide into 2 portions. And then you start with the first mantra, and after the word swaha in this mantra, you offer with the right hand the first portion of rice to the fire, and then second mantra, after swaha again, the second portion of rice. The mantras are simple. In the morning, 2 mantras. In the evening, 2 mantras. In the morning, it's Suryaya Swaha, Suryaya Idam Namama, Prajapataye Swaha, Prajapataye Idam Namama. And as I said, after Swaha, you add some rice. In the evening, Agnaye Swaha, Agnaye Idam Namama, Prajapataye Swaha, Prajapataye Idam Namama. What happens is some channel is created through all the atmosphere, and prana energy, life energy, which lies above our atmosphere, comes down through this channel, and an aura energy field is created around all plants nearby. So the plants get nutrition, they get disease resistant. And then when the flame dies, all this energy comes and is collected in the Agnihotra ash. This is why we use the ash for healing plants, animals, humans. And what are the benefits? According to traditional knowledge, all nature comes back to harmony. Means environment, atmosphere, soil, water resources, also biodiversity gets restored. Then food security can be maintained, and human health improves, both physical and mental. So let's look at the effects of Agnihotra and Agnihotra ash at the atmosphere first. Atmospheric pollution consists of 3 kinds. One is biological, one is chemical, one is physical. So biological, it's all the microbes in the air. And here you see a simple experiment. Petri dish was opened before Agnihotra. Petri dish with some nutrient agar in it was opened for 10 minutes before Agnihotra, and then closed, and then for incubation. And the same thing was done after Agnihotra. Open for 10 minutes, closed, then thing for incubation. And after 24 hours, you see which kind of bacteria have developed. And at the left side, before Agnihotra, you see there's a lot of bacteria. And then after Agnihotra, there's much, much, much less. This experiment has been done in different places, repeated several times, and also was published several times. So it is well established. Now, what about chemical pollution and physical pollution? Chemical pollution is mainly SOx and NOx, and physical pollution is particulate matter. This experiment here has been done in different universities, and now this result is from North Maharashtra University, and it shows that all the parameters, chemical as well as physical pollution, they come up a little bit after Agnihotra, and then they go down by 30 to 40%. So this was one Agnihotra only. We did it in the evening, so they monitored the parameters till next morning, and as you see, there was this reduction of 30 to 40%. Now, there was some doubt. Some people said, okay, maybe during the night, automatically, you know, the particles settle down and so on. So there will be a reduction in this chemical and physical pollution automatically, not naturally. So what we did the same thing, measured before morning Agnihotra, and then followed during the day, and it was the same result. All pollution, chemical as well as physical, came down by approximately 40%. Now we are planning some project in Delhi, because as you know, in winter especially, Delhi air pollution is the worst in the whole world. So what we want to do is we want to go there in cooperation with IIT Delhi and perform Agnihotra for 1 week, not just once, but for 1 week, and monitor all these values of chemical and physical air pollution and see. That is such an important project, because thousands of people die every year in Delhi because of air pollution, and hundreds of thousands are just suffering from the bad air which is there. The effects on water resources. This was an experiment done in Pune, and what they did is they took some water from a very polluted river. Okay, that's not difficult because all rivers in Pune are very much polluted. So they took this water and then they took some glass cylinder, which they filled with Agnihotra ash, and they poured this polluted water through this column of Agnihotra ash, and the quality of water was measured before and after. And you see here, there's a reduction in all the parameters, massive reduction, and especially look at the last two numbers, that is microbial pollution. It went down by 93 to 98%, depending on the method how they measured that. So from very bad water, they had drinking water quality by just pouring it through a column of Agnihotra ash. Now, this is an example from Australia. There was a bore well on some farm, and the water was highly saline and alkaline, so it couldn't be used, of course, not for drinking, but also not for giving it to the animals or to plants. The pH was 9.5, salinity 1150 parts per million. So what they did is they just performed Agnihotra next to the bore well and gave Agnihotra ash once a week to the well. And after half a year, pH came down from 9.5 to 7.2, and salinity from 1150 to 720. So now this water was okay according to the standards of WHO, as drinking water. So basically their farm was safe because without water, what can you do? So these were examples on a small scale, but also on large scale, the method works. This was some research done in Madhya Pradesh at the Narmada River. There is one place called Homa therapy Goshala, where all these fires are going on. Of course, basis is always Agnihotra at sunrise and sunset, as I planned in the beginning. And the scientists monitored the quality of the river Narmada, and they had different research stations. So there were 2 research stations upstream from the Homa therapy place and 1 downstream. And if you see here the results of the water quality, the Homa therapy place is best in all the different parameters, and especially look at the last one, coliform count. It's 100 ml, and this is what is maximum allowed by WHO. So this would again be okay for drinking water, and all other stations are much higher, both upstream and downstream. So that shows also on large scale, if you look at the water body of the river, this Homa works. Let's look at the soil. There's one Sanskrit text around 1500 BC, 3,500 years ago, and that says, "Upon this handful of soil, our survival depends. Husband it, and it will grow our food, our fuel, and our shelter, and surround us with beauty. Abuse it, and the soil will collapse and die, taking humanity with it." And according to information of the FAO, Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, already now 1/3 of the world's soil has been degraded as compared to 1960. And they continue to say that if we would continue like we do now with this chemical agriculture, in the year 2050, we would only have 1/4 of the level of 1960. And that, of course, will not be enough to feed the growing number of people. So the soil has to be rejuvenated first, and we have to start at the level of microorganisms, viruses, bacteria, fungi, algae, and so on. And this can be done with Homa therapy. And in this way, a healthy microflora and microfauna is created. And we have seen that. There was an experiment done at Gogata College in Ratnagiri. They added Agnihotra ash to soil, 1% of Agnihotra ash to the soil. And they found out that there was an increase in nitrogen fixing bacteria 100 times more, and phosphorus solubilizing bacteria even 1,000 times more. So that explains why there will be more nitrogen made available to the plants if you add Agnihotra ash, and also more soluble phosphorus, water soluble phosphorus in the soil. And you know, this phosphorus is in the soil normally, but it's not available to plants because it's not water soluble. And this is why farmers add this NPK. But if you add Agnihotra ash, then these phosphorus solubilizing bacteria increase, and they make the phosphorus available in the soil water soluble, so the plants can take it up through their roots. So that means you don't need these chemical fertilizers. Everything is there. Everything can be used with these methods using Agnihotra ash and Agnihotra. And also other soil microbes, they they are affected, and the in general you can say the beneficial microbes, they multiply, and the pathogenic microbes, they are controlled. Like you see here, different fungal pollution. It is population, it is reduced. And here, beneficial microbes, beneficial bacteria, they increase. Now let's talk about sodic and acidic soil. There was one experiment in UP. They had a farm where the pH was very acidic, very sodic. It was pH was 9.86. What they did is they just added Agnihotra ash to the soil, and within one season, pH came down from 9.86 to 7.67, which is nearly neutral, more than 2 points in just one season. And then people think, oh, Agnihotra ash works well for sodic soil, but not only. There was one farm in Poland, the pH was 4.4, it's very acidic, and the government in agricultural engineer said, no, nothing will grow there. But with Agnihotra and adding Agnihotra ash, all kinds of vegetables grew, and now the pH is around 7, neutral. Now, often we hear that Agnihotra, like any combustion, produces CO2 and therefore leads to more global warming. Okay, let's look at this. Yes, some CO2 is produced in the Agnihotra process because you burn some things, yes, and then CO2 is produced. But it's not much, though, as only small quantities of cow dung, ghee, and rice are used. But on the other hand, Agnihotra increases plant growth, which means carbon from the atmosphere is stored in the plant. And on top of that, a lot of carbon is stored in the soil in Homa atmosphere. We have measured SOC, soil organic carbon, in Homa farms and found that more than 12% SOC is in these soils. Just for comparison, in India, the soil, if a farmer has a soil of 2% or 3% organic carbon, he's happy. Often it's only 1% or even less. So this is quite exceptional to have 12 to 15% organic soil organic carbon. And that also means if we could turn more agricultural area from conventional farming to Homa organic farming, we could not only stop a further rise in the CO2 in the atmosphere, but even reduce the present level. Now, let us look at explanation. How does Agnihotra work? One thing is prana energy. One possible explanation is that Agnihotra produces certain gases which have certain beneficial effect on mind, plants, nature. So that is one way of explanation, but that's not the only way. More important seems to be that Agnihotra allows prana, the life energy, to flow harmoniously and thus supporting all nature. And we have seen that Agnihotra ash purifies water, but so that may be some chemical activity, but also if you just keep water next to Agnihotra, it will get purified. No ash added. And then even we closed the bottle so that also the fumes of Agnihotra did not get in contact with the water. Still, the water got purified. So there was a breakthrough experiment in which we could show that Agnihotra purifies water even if there's no contact to the fumes, no Agnihotra ash added. And even electromagnetic radiation was excluded by using Faraday cages. You know, Faraday cage, for example, some metal sheet does not allow electromagnetic field to go through. And this experiment, you can, the setup you can see here. We had water in bottles. You see 2 bottles at the right side. And then the same bottles we kept in metal containers you see here at the left side. We used different metals because we thought maybe the metal makes a difference. It did not. And then we kept these water bottles for 5 days in the room where we performed Agnihotra. You see here the Agnihotra pyramids in front. And after 5 days, we took these bottles to the lab, and at the lab we had kept the same water in a number of bottles also from the beginning. And then we compared the results. And here is a summary. And look at the last column, coliform bacteria. And this is comparison of the water bottles in the lab to the water bottles in which were kept in Agnihotra atmosphere. And you see there's a reduction of say 68 to 70% in the coliform count, the water in the Agnihotra atmosphere compared to the lab. Reduction of 68 to 70%. And see, there's nearly no difference between the bottles which were kept in metal containers or the other bottles. Means that the electromagnetic radiation did not do the main work. And that means that there must be some energy field of Agnihotra beyond the electromagnetic range. And what is this kind of energy field of Agnihotra? Maybe it's some kind of prana energy, which is mentioned in Vedic texts. But if so, then it's a big challenge how to measure this kind of prana energy. That's a challenge for the physicists. They have to find out, because the effect is there. That can be proven. And we repeated this experiment several times. So the effect is quite well established. But now it's for the physicists to measure this energy and also to find out what kind of energy is it. And this is still work in progress. And that also means understanding how Agnihotra works. It's not just application of modern science, but also it will lead to further development of modern science. Anyway, science is not a fixed body of knowledge, but it's a never-ending process of striving for truth. Now, another experiment, also with water. We took distilled water and filled it in 10 bottles. 5 we kept in the Agnihotra room, 5 we kept in the lab. And after 5 days, the bottles from the Agnihotra room were brought back to the lab. And then to all 10 bottles, a defined quantity of E. coli was added. And the bacteria developed much differently. You see here the blue bars. This is the bacterial count of the bottles kept in the lab. And the red shows the bottles which were kept in Agnihotra room. And you see, first day, there was a count of 375 in the lab water, nothing in the Agnihotra water. And after five days, there was less bacteria in the Agnihotra water than on the first day in the water kept in the lab. You see, there's a big difference. And that is quite interesting because the water was the same. It was distilled water. So chemical cuisine, there's no reason to assume that there's a change. And also the bottles were closed, so no interaction with the fumes or whatever. But there must be some subtle change in the water so that the bacterial growth was reduced in the water which was kept in Agnihotra atmosphere. So that is, again, some challenge for science to find out what properties of the water change. Maybe there's some structural change in the water molecules, because the water molecules will be the same, it's H2O. But there may be some other properties of water which change, which make the water less interesting for the growth of pathogenic bacteria, and we have to see. And this is a quite interesting experiment because, you know, our body consists to say 75% of water, and that is per weight. If you look at the number of molecules, then our body consists to 99% of water even. So water plays an important role in our body, in the body of animals, and also in plants. So if we affect some properties of water in a beneficial way, then that has a big, tremendous effect also on the health of the whole body. So that's quite an interesting experiment, and we will go further to examine more what actually happened. Now the conclusion. Agnihotra is the basic tool to come back to a Vedic lifestyle. And Agnihotra, or Yajna, is the first step of fivefold path. Fivefold path consists of Yajna, and the other steps are Dana, Tapa, Karma, and Svadhyaya. And this fivefold path is a simple but very comprehensive guideline for people from our modern life to go back to a Vedic lifestyle, to Satya Sanatan Dharma for our present time. And that is very important, and that is what we have to go for in order to make human life on this planet possible in future also. Thank you.
Thank you, Ulrich Mahodaya. It's very enlightening to see a lot of research work is going on towards Homa agricultural practices, Homa cultivation, and there's so much improvement. Through Homa, we can achieve both air, oil, soil, and also water. So we'll have a few minutes question answer session. Yeah, Subramanian ji.
Pranam Mahodaya, it was a wonderful session, and thank you for giving all this knowledge to us. I would like to ask, is there any comparative study done on the level of belief or the person's mind involvement in this, when they were just uttered mechanically and when it was done with a complete belief on the Vedic system? Is there any difference in the results?
There are studies on people's mind. For example, some study in Moscow done 10 years ago, one study done recently in Baltimore in US, which show that the level of depression and anxiety goes down for people who do Agnihotra. That is one thing. And these people, especially the people in Russia, they did not know much about Agnihotra. So it's just the effect of Agnihotra on them. There was another study that is quite interesting done in Santiago de Chile, the capital of Chile in South America. And this study, it was the stress level which was measured, and by examining the saliva for cortisol, which indicates the level of stress. And they had two groups of students, and one group, they were invited for some Tai Chi lesson, and it was told them, okay, that reduces stress. And the second group was also invited for Tai Chi, but the second group, when they had the Tai Chi lesson, Agnihotra was performed in the next room. So they did not know about Agnihotra. They just performed, they just thought they were performing Tai Chi and that would help. And still, there was a big difference in the effect, those people who were just doing Tai Chi and those people who were doing the same Tai Chi, but Agnihotra was performed in the next level. So they did not know, and that's important, and still the effect was there.
Dhanyavad.
Okay. Next, Srinivas.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mahadaya, for giving you excellent knowledge on Agnihotra. Coming to your slide on particulate matter, immediately after the completion of Agnihotra, the chemicals levels are increased, and
Yes.
after that, they have come down very drastically.
Yes.
Can you explain how it happens? Why it was so high after completion of Homa?
Yeah, there's some increase right after you perform the Homa. That is just because of the chemical processes, like, for example, particulate matter. Yes, you perform Agnihotra, there's some smoke. Now, the next step of this experiment would be to examine what kind of smoke particles are there. And because we also know from experience, from so many reports, people who inhale Agnihotra smoke, their breathing changes, and many people even have been healed from their asthma by sitting next to Agnihotra. So it's a different kind of smoke. But it would be interesting to examine these smoke particles and compare to other kind of particles. Because I think, because the effect is different, I think there will be a different structure of these particles also. But anyway, there's some smoke, so there's some increase in particles, and there's also some increase in NOx and SOx. But then it goes down, and that is the important point.
Okay, Gupta ji.
Namaskar, Mahoday. Any studies done on the cost effectiveness of this process?
On the what?
The cost effectiveness. The cost of purification.
Cost. Yeah, I mean, for Agnihotra, you need this copper pyramid, which is not very costly. And then cow dung is easily available also, but you have to make sure it's pure cow dung. It's not mixed with buffalo. So you have to really go to some dairy farm where they have cows only and not buffaloes, for example. And then some ghee. With ghee, same thing. You have to really be careful to get ghee from a proper place, a dairy farm where they only have cows, because the ghee which you get on the market quite often is adulterated. And I saw some newspaper report where they said, you know, even brands which are thought to be very good, like Patanjali, the ghee was not pure cow's ghee. So you have to be careful about that. Best to go to some dairy farm where they just have cows and get the ghee from there. So these costs are not very high. Now, if you use the method in agriculture, there has been a PhD study recently, and they compared 225 conventional farms with 225 farms where they did Agnihotra. And the cost of production was less and the income was more. So the profit was definitely much more than with conventional farms.
Okay. Okay, next we'll have Gopal Krishna ji.
Namaskar, Mahoday. It was a great session. It was extremely informative and some very great facts, which is going to help us with our environment. So I have a couple of questions. One is about typically any Hindu rituals have mantra and kriya. which basically means mantra as a mantra and kriya as some kind of an action that you perform. So, in the Agnihotra and Homas, what was the impact of the mantras and how important it was in the results that you saw in all the experiments? That is one question. Second thing is, for all the experiments that you performed,
No, wait. Yeah,
okay.
No, wait. One question
At a time.
at a time, not too much thing. So, see, one thing is, it is not the Hindu practice. This is Vedic knowledge. And as you know, Vedic knowledge is much older than any of our traditions, any of our religions or cultures. So it comes from the original Vedic knowledge. And we do not, we know the effects of Agnihotra. We cannot tell what exactly, which percentage is because of the mantra, which percentage is because of the other things which we do, because you can't, it doesn't make sense to perform Agnihotra and not do the mantra. You will not have the effect. It is one package. Everything is important. The mantras, the shape and size of the pyramid, the metal used for the pyramid, and the ingredients you burn, exact timing, all these things come together, and then you have the effect. Otherwise, not. There were experiments when they did Agnihotra without mantra, Agnihotra with wrong ingredients, and so on, and always the effect was not there. So this much you can say, but you can't say, okay, 50% of the effects are due to the mantras. It doesn't make sense. You want 100%, so you have to perform Agnihotra properly as it is taught. Okay, second question.
Absolutely, that makes sense. So the other question I was going to ask you was about, in all the experiments that you conducted, the timing was very meticulously followed, as in sunset and the sunrise, as per the place. And so that was also very important.
Yes. And we followed the exact timing of sunrise, sunset, exact to the second.
Understood. Thank you so much.
Shankaraya ji.
I'm just opening. Yeah. It's a great, being a chemical engineer, I appreciate all your slides. And I really impressed on the output. The excellent results in Poland and Australia. Based on the results, some other people might have tried to repeat the taking the advantage of that. We have much more data on that.
Of course, there are much more results all over the world. And in this short presentation, I cannot, I just can mention some examples. There are much more results. And, if you are interested to know more, please send me an email and I will send you a collection of articles so that you can get more information.
Thank you. I will do that. One more question. Can you share us all principles we need to follow to do Homa the way you are done?
Basically, it's very simple. What you first need is this Agnihotra copper pyramid of fixed size and shape. And that's important. You have to get from some special sources because there are copper pyramids on the market in India, but they are not of the right size and shape. Often they have handles also. So they are different. These can't be used. So that's one thing. The second thing is very important. Cow dung, pure cow dung. As I mentioned, it's a little difficult. You have to go to dairy farms. And the same with ghee, cow's ghee, pure cow's ghee. There's one example. There was one farm in south of India, Karnataka. they had very good results with Homa farming. And then in 1 year, there was suddenly some pest. They grew sugarcane and there was some pest and they were very much disturbed. Why does this happen?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
And then the ghee, which they used, they bought it from the market. And so the ghee was not pure. And then, okay, the farmer said, we get our own cows because this should not happen again. And then, interestingly, when they used proper pure ghee, then automatically predators came who took care of the pest. So the problem was solved again by Homa methods.
Okay, Gautam ji.
Thank you, sir.
Namaskar, sir. It was an excellent lecture. So, and with my physics background, I appreciated all your findings and so on. And I shared some of your earlier in earlier lectures finding. I shared some of my physics batchmates or friends and so on. Sir, we want our this list of publication total. Your publications which are regarding this Agnihotra and published in some journal. Can you please give the references in a text and kindly share this presentation, this which you shown, if it's possible. This is my request.
Okay, what I can do is, because I don't have your email contacts of all of you, but what I can do is I can share a list of publications and also this presentation with Colonel Babu, and he can then make it available to everybody. Is that okay?
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Excellent.
fine, I'll do that.
And this PPT also he is looking for. Is it
Yes,
possible?
yes, the PPT also. I'll also share the presentation, yes.
Okay,
Certainly,
we
sir,
can-
I want to also comment that this present civilization of with this scientific civilization so-called is not sustainable at all. So when we do this kind of Agnihotra and go back to the Vedic knowledge, this will be, we again get sustainable development added with all our scientific knowledge in the background, but we still will have a sustainable civilization. Thank you, sir.
Yes, thank you. That is totally correct. We have to go back to a Vedic lifestyle. Otherwise, the way we are heading now, that is to total destruction.
Collapse,
We have to
yes.
go back to a Vedic lifestyle, but we can still, the scientific science we can still use in order to understand what all these Vedic methods mean and how they work. That it's useful. But otherwise, yes, we have to go back to Vedic lifestyle. And for that, Agnihotra, as I see it, is the first step. Okay?
Okay, Vikas. Vikas. Vikas is not there. B.R. Samurthy garu.
Namaste ji. Two questions. One is, shall we have to visit this Homa place after 15 hours because the pollution is high? That is one question. Because to avoid the pollution immediate after Homa, it will be after 15 hours. Shall we have to visit? Is it better? Do you advise?
No. You know what we advise is to perform Agnihotra regularly. This experiment was just one Agnihotra. Normally, we perform Agnihotra morning and evening regularly, every day, morning and evening, and then all the pollution will go down constantly.
Okay, my second question is because in public places in India, some homas are going on. Intermittent this one. That's what my question. We should not visit Homa immediately after Homa. we have to wait for some 15 hours. That's my question.
No. See, as I said, we still have to examine, for example, the smoke particles. And I think these smoke particles of Agnihotra, which are emitted right after Agnihotra or during Agnihotra, they may be of a different kind, because what we have seen in many cases that people who have asthma, who normally say they can't stand any smoke, yeah, they come to Agnihotra and they say, okay, I don't understand, but this smoke is different because I don't get irritated. It is really helping. This smoke is soothing. So there's a difference. So it is best to be there during the Agnihotra procedure.
Okay, my second question is, in a individual level, what is the way for doing this Agnihotra? Is it in individual level? What do you advise? Can we get that and do on our own? Is there any procedure like that?
Yeah, that's the normal way. I mean, there are hundreds of thousands of people all over the world who perform Agnihotra at their homes. That is, and that's the beauty of it. We do not know do not need any other persons, any priests to do it for us. We can do ourselves. Yeah, so we are independent and we can do it wherever we are, and we do it as a regular practice of our day. We can include in our daily practice. So in the morning, normally we take shower, we get up, we take shower, and then we perform Agnihotra. And in India, it is also quite easy because the timings for sunrise are, normally between 6 and 7, little earlier. In
any problem with the connection?
No, it's even earlier. Then it's more difficult. But the idea is, yes, that is for everybody. That is for every household.
Okay, Vikas.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for the wonderful session, sir. I have 3 questions which are all interlinked. Number 1 is, should we only use the Indian cow dung and cow ghee? And then second is, should this be done inside the house mainly, not outside basically? And last question is, there's one more Agnihotra, Dainik Agnihotra, which takes around 15 minutes, which involves samagri. So what is your take on all 3 of these?
Okay, first, as I said, there are 100,000 of people all over the world who perform Agnihotra. And yes, I know that the indigenous cows here in India, the cows with the hump, they have some better qualities. That is correct. So if you can get cow dung and cow's ghee from these cows, that will be good. But also we have seen effects of Agnihotra with all kinds of other cows. And what we also have heard is when cows are in Homa atmosphere, then that is better. So they get the effect of the Homa, and then also it's a full cycle. You know that for these yajnas, we need cows. Cows are very essential. This is also why in Indian culture, cow is said to be a holy animal, yeah, because it gives us the ingredients for yajna. Without cows, we can't have yajnas. So they are very important. And if they live in a Homa atmosphere, we could give something back to the cows. And that would be best. Take cow dung from places where these homas are performed. It's okay. That is ideal. It's not necessary, but it's ideal. If you take cow dung and ghee from any cows, then Agnihotra will work. But it has to be pure cows, yeah, not buffaloes. Second question, you can perform Agnihotra inside and outside. For farming, you do it outside, but also there you normally construct a hut on your field because if it's raining, you still want to do it, and if it's raining, the fire would get extinguished. So you perform a small hut. But normally, most people perform it inside in their house to make it part of their daily routine. And the third question?
So the last question was, there's one more a little bit elaborate Dainik Agnihotra, which takes around 15 minutes.
I do know that, for example, Arya Samaj, they have this more elaborate Agnihotra. See, I just don't know about these other Homas. I concentrate on the Agnihotra, the way we do it. This is why I, at the beginning, said important note. Whatever I say refers to the simple Agnihotra only. So with the simple Agnihotra, you get these effects. Whether you get these effects with the other kinds of Homa, I just do not know. There must be some good effects also, no doubt. But that is not my field of study. I just concentrate on this very simple Agnihotra. The reason why is that is something everybody can easily do. For example, when we travel, we have a small kit, a box, and we travel in the car. And when it's time of sunrise, sunset, we just stop and perform Agnihotra in the car. This you can't do with these more elaborate kinds of Homa. So that's very simple. So it's very easy to integrate in your daily life.
Thank you, sir. One final question on your previous response. You said it's a Vedic practice, not a Hindu practice. So this could get a bit political, but then just want to know what's your perspective on what is Vedic, what is Hindu, sir? Thank you, sir.
No, see, it's very simple. Vedic culture was there in the beginning. And that was there before there was India, before there was Germany, England, and so on. Also the language, Sanskrit. Sanskrit is the original language, and all our languages come basically from Sanskrit. So I speak German at home, yeah? And now we speak English. Both German and English come from Sanskrit, partly on the way it was Greek and Latin. But it comes from Sanskrit. If I was in Eastern Europe a lot, if I go to Russia, a lot of these words immediately you see come from Sanskrit, like Agni, fire. In Russian, it's Agon. So you see immediately how it comes. In English, we have the word ignition, also comes from Sanskrit. So that is the Vedic knowledge was at the beginning, and from there, the knowledge went down to the different cultures. And in all our cultures, we have things which go back to this Vedic knowledge. But also in all our cultures, we have forgotten a lot of things. And at the original Vedic time, we did not have the separation of different cultures. It was all one.
Okay. Arunakumari?
Sir, I want a small doubt. Can we use these ashes in our day-to-day residential house water also to purify it?
Sure. This is what we normally do. We perform Agnihotra, and then we add this Agnihotra ash to the water. For example, often now people use water purification systems like this RO, reverse osmosis.
Yeah.
Okay, reverse osmosis, all the bacteria and the viruses and so on are gone. That's good. But on the other hand, it is lifeless water. So if you add Agnihotra ash, life comes back to this water. So this is what I always do when I'm here, where I normally get this RO water. So yes, you can use the Agnihotra ash in your daily routine. You can add it to your water. You can add it to your food. You can eat the Agnihotra ash before your meals. All that is not only possible, it's good also.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, Padmini ji. Padmini. Padmini, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Thank you very much, sir. Excellent lecture. I have a doubt. To what extent this will be purified? To what extent the atmosphere around the Agnihotra is purified? I mean the quantification, whether any work has been done.
No, yeah, I mean, like with the bacteria in the air, there's a reduction of approximately 90% by just one Agnihotra. But then, you would perform Agnihotra again after 12 hours. So there will be more reduction.
To what extent? Okay, I mean the whether 1 kilometer surrounding it or
Oh,
that,
you mean the area? Okay.
Yeah, area. I mean the area actually. Area.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, you perform Agnihotra here, there will be some effect next room and so on. Still, most effect you get in your own home. Now, in agriculture, we have seen we can, with this technique, work on farms up to 80 hectares, 200 acres. So that's
great.
That's a great area. Yeah.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, Mahalakshmi.
No, thanks for enlightening us on the Agnihotra process. So one quick question, can this be performed by women also?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. For women, children, many children do it. We have seen 5-year-old children who utter these mantras, which are very simple, quite easily, and they perform Agnihotra, of course, under the surveillance of their parents, but they can perform it. And of course, women, all human beings can perform this Agnihotra.
Yeah.
And from all walks of life, all different cultures, religions, it's not a religious practice. It is, as I said, a Vedic practice.
Yeah. So, and then another question. So we have those 2 mantras at sunrise and sunset. So we perform. So at what moment the mantra has to be spelt? Is that the moment of the sunrise along with seconds which you have said? So
yes,
we prepare
exactly.
the entire Homa process, the cow dung, everything, the Agnihotra is lit and the mantra is uttered at the sunrise. How is it? Can you just elaborate?
Exactly. You prepare the fire beforehand. So you start maybe 8 minutes before the exact time to arrange the cow dung and you light the fire. And then at the exact time of sunrise and also sunset, there should already be a nice flame. And that at the exact time you start with the first mantra. Correct.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Sure.
Gautamji again.
Sir, I missed one question that so far you talked about the Havan Samagri, not other Havan Samagri, cow dung, cow ghee and rice you told. But what about other Havan Samagri? You did research also. Last time you told that you did research also on those, like many medicinal plants, their effect on atmosphere. There will be more enhanced effects and for a particular kind of, say, corona, how to treat corona. There should be particular kind of medicinal plants maybe which should be put with the Jagga in Agnihotra, and so that that particular effect will come. Can you please elaborate on this kind?
No, I did not say anything about Havan Samakri and other medicinal plants. I do know that these exist, but for our Agnihotra, it is very simple, just cow dung, cow's ghee, and rice, nothing else. We know there are other yajnas where you use different medicinal herbs, and also we have organized the series of all 7 Soma yaks in one place, and as far as we know, it has not been done before in one place in known history. We have done that in our Homa therapy Goshala in Maheshwar, which is in NP. And there, of course, they use different herbs, especially the Soma plant. But these are different yajnas, and they are very complicated. And the nice thing about Agnihotra, everybody can easily perform at home. These other yajnas, you need some priests who know the procedure, who know all these complicated mantras. About that, I don't know.
There are Shanti Kunj in Haridwar, Parivar. They use all these different samagris. I have gone there. Not many Agnihotras are running parallelly. Similarly, Patanjali Yogpith also doing like this, various samagri, and so many people in parallel they will be doing yajnas. So they are also, I've seen the different samagris. Thank you.
Okay, Jhansi.
Namaste Mahodaya, Dhanyawad for a great knowledge. I just wanted to ask you where this kit is available, authentic kit, because there are so many things are sold in the market, but the exact measurements and exact kit, where I can get in India, please tell us.
Okay, anyway, I said I would send some information packet to Colonel Babu, so I will also send an address to him where you can order the Agnihotra pyramid and so on. Okay.
Dhanyawad. Another question is, if suppose if we perform in the agriculture land, should we increase the proportions of the measurements of the pyramid or the same size if we have to use?
No. See, this is the process of Agnihotra is all about sound, vibration, resonance. And so the size of a pyramid is essential for that process. It is, you can compare with music. If you have like you have a sitar and you play the sitar in front of a dozen of people, okay. And then you're invited to a big concert where you have 1,000 people and a large room, big audience. You would not increase the size of your sitar because then the music would be different. It is because it is all about the sound coming from the sun at the time of sunrise, the sound of your mantras, and the vibration created in the pyramid and in the flame. So if the size of the pyramid or the shape of the pyramid would change, there would not be the same effect. It has to be exactly this small pyramid. But in agriculture, we have one thing. If you have a large area, I was talking about 200 acres, then what we do is we perform Agnihotra in one pyramid in the middle of the farm, and then we have a certain technique to activate more pyramids, and then we have one north, one south, one east, one west, and they are activated once by fire, but otherwise they just sit there on a column, and you perform Agnihotra in the middle, and there's a resonance in these other 4 pyramids, and therefore a large area is covered. But Agnihotra is always performed in the same small pyramid, same size, same shape.
Thank you. Dhanyawad Mahodaya.
Okay, Chandramurthy garu.
Namaste ji, one more question. Now in India, people used to lit some lamps with some cow ghee or some tela ghee. Now I heard earlier that it replaces yajna symbolically, letting Agnihotra. Is it to some extent okay?
I mean, these ghee lamps are nice, and I think they have some soothing effect on the atmosphere, but in no way it can replace Agnihotra.
Okay. Gupta ji, again.
In the morning, how long we have to do Homa? In the evening, how long we have to do Homa? Is it 10 minutes or 15 minutes or like that?
No. The process may be 10 minutes. You start sometime before. In the beginning, I would suggest to start, say, 8 minutes before the actual time of sunrise and sunset, because it may take some time, some experience until you know how to light this fire and so on. But then normally what we suggest is to sit there at least as long as the flame is there. And when the flame dies, you can go. Technically speaking, you could even go after doing the mantras, because then Agnihotra is over and then the process works by itself. It doesn't need you anymore. But in order to get more benefit from it yourself, then it would be good just to sit there. And if you are into meditation, then stay there as long as you want, do your meditation. That's the best time for meditation. People who are a long time practitioners of meditation, they tell me normally it takes them at least 20 minutes to go in a deep state of meditation. When they perform Agnihotra, this happens automatically very quick. So the process itself takes maybe 10 minutes, but of course you can sit there for a longer time. And the process itself, it is just 20 seconds doing these mantras, and then it's over. You can't do more. Then it's just a fire.
So mantra is to be recited only once.
Yes, only once. Because if you would continue, it would even spoil the effect, because it's no longer time of sunrise or sunset. So you only utter the mantras two mantras uttered once in the morning and the same in the evening.
Okay, one last question. Last question, that is Ramani. Ramani, are you there? Okay. So thank you, Ulrich Mahodaya, and out of your busy schedule and
I'm sorry, I could not unmute myself. So is there any way to start the Agni Homa? Like for us, like the Agni, the first one you take for the Homams, it should be very sacred or something, they say. But these kind of daily Agnihotras, do we have to have any specific way to ignite your Homa?
See, no. When you start your daily Agnihotra, you start in the evening, and of course, if it's possible, it's not a condition, but if it's possible, it's always nice to take shower before and put on new clothes. But that's ideal. So this is how you start, and
okay.
And then you
Thank you so much,
normal,
sir.
Okay.
Thank you for your knowledge,
Okay,
for
sure.
sharing.
thank you, sir, for the great knowledge and the great research work going on. That it is enlightening to all of us. I need to know it is something which the Vedic methods of purifying the atmosphere is something which we all have given a second preference so far in this generation. So I think it is awakening a call for all of us. Thank you very much. And on behalf of Veda Samskruti Samiti and Vishwa Yoga Vidyapeeth, I sincerely express our gratitude for your time in the lecture. Thank you very much. Now let us do Prarthana. Let us do Prarthana and then Janaganamana.
Om Swasti Prajabhya Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahimmahishaha O Brahmanebhya Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Kale Vashyatu Parjanyaha Prithvi Sasyashalini Deshoyam Shobharahitaha Brahmana Santu Nirbhayaha Aputran Putrina Santu Pautrinaha Adana Sadana Santu Jivantu Sharadam Shatam Om Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amrutangamaya Om Shanti 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 Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayaah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavachishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.
Okay, thank you, Anantanji. Now let us do Janaganamana. Let's all stand up and do Janaganamana.
Janaganamana Adinayaka Jaya He Bharata Bhagya Vidata Punjab Sindhu Gujarat Maratha Dravida Utkala Vanga Vindhya Himachala Yamuna Ganga Ujjala Jaladi Taranga Tava Shubha Name Jahe Tava Shubha Ashish Mahe Gahe Tava Jaya Gada Janagana Mangaladayaka Jaya He Bharata Bhagya Vidata Jaya He Jaya He Jaya He Jaya 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 He Jai Hind.
Jai Hind.
ధన్యవాదాలు సార్.
ధన్యవాదములండి.
ధన్యవాదాలు సార్.
కాశీ గారు. So now let us